Okay, welcome back to episode 2. We are talking Friday night thoughts, Friday night drinking.
The best, is it?
Maybe the worst now.
Depends if you're doing your Saturday morning gym class like I normally do.
Yeah,
I've done it hungover and I've done it sober, and I know which one I'd rather do.
yeah. I don't think drinking's the one anymore, personally. I think you're probably on the same page, right?
Yeah, pretty close to being on it. I mean, I'm not saying I don't drink, because I do, but I'm more conscious of what I'm doing the next day in terms of if I go out Friday or even Saturday, will this wipe me out? And on Sunday, is it just going to be like one of them classic slob days?
Yeah. It's the hangovers. I feel like you can't really face a hangover anymore at this age.
Do you get a hangover, or are you just tired? Because that's the big one that everyone says. I'm not hungover, I'm just tired.
Yeah. Oh, people always say beer fear, and that's something I've never got.
Yeah,
I've
beer
never
fear,
had that.
yeah. Like, I used to get that when I was younger. Like
I don't really know what that is.
I think what I perceived it as, you'd go out one night, you get absolutely tanked up, and then, do you know hair of the dog?
Yeah.
It's kind of like you've either got to, do it, hair of the dog, or you've got beer fear, and the thought of drinking a pint just like sends you
really?
under. Yeah.
So I've heard someone talk about beer. A few people talk about beer fear. I get that. Someone's talked about beer fear where they are so anxious about last night's drunkenness.
Actually, yeah, I've heard it that way.
Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, what did they do because they can't remember?
Yeah, or what did they say?
Yeah.
And then I've spoken to people about it, and they've said sometimes they know they've not said anything bad, they know they've not done anything wrong, but they are anxious about something to do with the alcohol. And alcohol probably does that to your like hormones or something. There's like some kind of imbalance maybe that's causing you to feel like nervous, anxious.
Yeah. I mean, alcohol is toxic, isn't it, to the body? Hence why you, one, feel shit, and two, usually vomit.
Exactly.
The next day or during.
That's when you should have known. Like when I was about 18, 19, every night out that I had, I was sick. And my mates used to say to me, like, you probably got like stomach ulcers or something. Like, you need to go and test that out.
Tactical chunder, you remember that?
Tactical chunder, yeah.
Everyone's done a tactical chunder.
You'd be feeling fresh after you've just been in the toilet for 20 minutes.
It's 10 p.m. and you're ready to go again. And that's like, to mention or to think about it like that, you've made yourself kind of ill enough to be sick. And then you've gone, you know what, fuck what my body's saying. I'm just going to put it all back in.
It's funny that as well, because you've just got rid of the toxic, that you've just drunk all this stuff. You've been sick. You got rid of it. You feel a little bit better. So you go again.
Yeah. And you've probably ruined the lining of your stomach.
Yeah.
Getting it all out.
Definitely.
So then maybe or maybe not throw up again later on in the night. And then, mixing that and with trying to, do fitness the next day or do anything normal.
When you were younger, let's say 18, 17, 19, did you used to do that? Like, did you used to go out, get pissed, then the next day probably do it again, and feel fine? Or did you?
I mean, I think I used to go out, used to get really pissed, and the next morning I'd feel rough, and then either go back to sleep and kind of sleep it off, as they say, wake up like maybe 10, 11, 12, and then think, right, I feel all right now. You slept it off, and then you'd go again. But then there's some times where I think, I don't want to do this again, but then peer pressure, your mates, whatever.
Yeah. And maybe when you're younger, there's not much else to do, especially when you're about 17, pushing on 19. You kind of like, everyone's going out. If you don't go out, you're missing out. You feel like anyway, but it's not really the case, is it?
But then is it not like, I don't know if it's just obviously just British people that I think like this, but obviously we're British that when you're like a teenager, that you're always kind of dreaming of being old enough to go out and drink. You've always had it in front of you that, getting out and drinking and getting drunk is the main thing to do. And then when you get to 18, you think, right, let's just do it. Yeah. Just go to excess.
You go hard.
You go proper hard for like 2-3 years.
Yeah, you think it's cool. And I guess there is an element of it that is cool. because you're out after hours, your parents are in bed, you're out in the club partying. You've probably gone out with a fake ID if you're 17 or something, or someone else's ID, and you just think this is it.
Yeah,
but
it's
then
a dream.
And you're in the club, and you're like, this is what it's all about. Whereas now I'm thinking, this is not what it's about. I'll be stood in the club now thinking, this is exactly where I don't want to be.
Yeah. I mean, if I'm out in a club, I mean, I've still done it at this age and a few years ago, but like, I always think if I'm still out in a club at 2 a.m., I've done something wrong.
Yes.
Like,
yes.
I would
That's me all over
rather
now.
go out on like an afternoon drinking session.
Yeah.
Get home at like 10 o'clock. Yeah, you might feel a bit shit, but I think because you're drinking all night and you've also got like no sleep, because you don't have a good night's sleep whilst you've been out drinking.
No.
You'll sleep for like, say, 4 hours. You might wake up, be sick. You feel like shit. Then you go back to bed and your body's not recovered and it's been like practically poisoned for 8 hours.
Yeah. That's so true. So like recently I've been getting into, I've been reading this book about sleep, and it says that one drink can affect your sleep. Like one alcoholic beverage will affect your sleep, so that you're not getting that recovery you need. You're not getting like the rest that you need. So it's crazy that when you were younger, or even now, if I go out with my mates and I'm having like, let's say I'm having like 10 beers.
Good going that.
Yeah, really it's 4.
I'm smashed by 3.
Really it's 4, but
yeah.
Say if I'm, if I'm having like loads of beers or drinks or whatever, now I'm thinking, I'm not gonna sleep well tonight.
Yeah.
I'm gonna feel bad tomorrow.
For me, it's more. I don't even think about the sleep. I just think about like, what am I going to do tomorrow, and how am I going to feel? And for me, I always go to the gym class on a Saturday morning. That's kind of always something I've done at the weekend. It kind of like, a bit sad, but like starts my weekend.
Yeah,
and it properly starts my weekend. Obviously, you've worked till Friday. You've gone out Friday night, and then Saturday it's like, right, Saturday, Sunday, what can I do in my free time?
Yeah.
To then wake up rough Saturday and think, well, do I go? Do I not go to the gym? You go, you vomit, you sweat it all out, you feel like shit, and then sleep deprived all Saturday.
It's funny if you don't do that. So if like you're saying, you enjoy the Saturday morning because it gets you up and going. If you go out on a Friday night now and get absolutely steaming, you wake up late, you're hungover, the day's gone. Before you know it, it's Sunday, and then you've got that dreaded, like, I've got to go to work tomorrow. And your weekend's been like one night.
Yeah.
Rather than 3 days.
Basically, yeah. It pretty much has. But I mean, to be honest, if I was going to go out on any day of that weekend, I would go out on the Friday. Because in my head, I'd class it as like, that's still the working week.
Yeah.
Because if I definitely go out Saturday, what are you really going to do on the Saturday building up to your night out? Probably getting ready or like doing whatever, just crap. And then you've definitely rough Sunday.
Yeah.
And then you practically, by the time you've come around, it's like, tea time or like going to bed.
Yeah.
And then it's work.
See, I'm thinking the same, but now I very rarely do get drunk.
Yeah.
I might have a beer or two, and I will get drunk and have, I'll have a big night out if that's what's happening, if that's the event. If I'm going to a wedding or I'm going to somewhere with my mates and it's a big organised event, I will get drunk. But if it's like, I don't know, just a few mates having a drink or something like that, I'd rather just not drink now.
Yeah, but then you'll probably struggle with peer pressure though, won't
you? Yeah, you do up to a certain point.
Yeah.
And then once you get past it, the peer pressure stops.
Yeah. I think it's also because like your mates get so pissed that they forget to ask you.
Yeah.
They don't even realise that you've not been drinking for like 3 hours.
Yeah. I love that if you ever be that person where people are like, oh, you don't drink? I thought you were drunk. Like, no, I'm just having a good time. I'm just enjoying myself.
Yeah. You can enjoy yourself, but obviously it's harder to stay out later sober with your mates. It seems like they get like a second wind, don't they? And they can just stay out till 3 a.m.
Yeah. When you're pissed, you can. I can't stay out past 11 if I'm not drinking. So I have a good time, I'll have a laugh, I like having a chat and, we'll whatever. But if I'm not drinking, I'm in bed for like 11.
Yeah, because then for me, I would be thinking about the next day, going, right, well, if I stay out till 12, I'm just going to be tired because I wanted to do X, Y, and Z on Saturday, and I've got to be up at 7 or whatever. And then you think about that, and then it goes back to like not wanting your weekend ruined. Why would you stay out till 12, 1 o'clock sober if you don't need to?
Yeah.
Because your mates get so pissed and they're off like dance floor bar,
Exactly.
getting wrecked, and then you're stood there.
Yeah.
Because
exactly.
I've had it before where you've gone out and not drank with your mates and then said, oh, go to the bar and just get us a lemonade. And they've ordered 3 vodka lemonades.
Yeah.
And you're like, well.
Do you think that's an interesting topic about like drinking, alcohol being a drug and being like the only drug that you get pressured into doing because it's normal?
Yeah.
If you say you don't drink, someone's like, what?
Yeah.
Have a beer.
Yeah. It's only one.
Yeah.
And if it's like, oh, it's only one line of whatever.
Yeah.
It's just different.
Yeah. So like drinking is so normal. It's so part of everyday, someone's life. It can be part of their everyday life. I have a glass of wine every day or a beer every day or whatever. But if you say, oh, I'm not drinking tonight, people get a bit annoyed, I think, with you because you are ruining their night.
Yeah.
Because you are not joining in. Do you ever feel like that?
No, I've experienced it. Yeah, you definitely get it. It's just, I don't know, they feel bad that you're not drinking, and if you don't drink, what's the point? Why are you here? And then you get all of that.
Yeah, if you don't drink, but I am, how am I supposed to have a good night?
Yeah.
That's what they're thinking.
I think it's not all people, but some people will probably drink for like a confidence thing. They're not confident around people.
Yeah, 100%.
I've gone on nights out with people, and then like they've not said like boo to a goose during the day, and then you see them and they've got a drink and they're just like, you're like, the hell's this?
Yeah, that is true. So, some people are like that,
and they'll tell you what they'll
speak their mind. Yeah,
and you're like, oh, I didn't realize you thought I was a knob. Well,
yeah, does it? Alcohol probably does increase your confidence, but also it probably makes you someone you're not as well.
Yeah,
a lot of the time. So maybe if you think it's increasing your confidence, is it, or are you just being a bit of a knob?
Probably.
Probably,
yeah. You probably are. You probably are being more of a knob because you're saying stuff that you never would. You're kind of not thinking about anyone else's feelings.
Yeah.
Would you go up to someone and just say, oh, it's sober, and go, I think you're really boring?
Yeah.
You won't. But pissed, you'll be like, I thought you were really boring,
Yeah.
And you're the sober one thinking,
yeah.
All right, what a dick. You didn't
yeah, exactly.
tell me to my face properly, sober, and you probably won't remember this tomorrow morning.
Yeah. I've been in situations where I've seen people's confidence change with alcohol. I've seen people turn into something they're not, or, people start fighting.
The fighting's a big one between lads, and it just takes one of your mates chatting to some girl that's got a boyfriend who's also out another.
Yeah.
And I've been caught up in like fights before that I've never caused.
Yeah.
But it's just purely because one of the mates has got cocky with someone else, and you just like,
it's that like aggression or testosterone with lads.
Yeah.
When you've had a drink,
you
think so because it increases your confidence or makes you a bit of a knob. You think now you're
unbeatable.
You do. And that's when you see lads, they're steaming, they're fighting, they're all falling on the floor. And then next thing you know, ambulances come because someone's seriously hurt or something.
Yeah, but then if I'm fighting you and, I'm pissed and you're pissed, I hit you and I see you fall on the floor and I'm like, yes, I think I've won on the floor, you're not getting back up. You could have actually cracked your head on the curb.
Yeah.
And be bleeding out, but because I'm pissed, all that, caring nature that I may or may not have is just gone.
Yeah.
And then, hopefully it never happened, but then you get locked up going into prison for something that you probably can't even remember.
Yeah, because you had like 4 beers.
Over what? Like, seriously, like.
And half the time, in fact, 99% of the time, I'd say, it's over something so trivial.
Yeah.
It can be you've pushed in front of me in the queue.
Yeah.
So now
Or
I'm
bump
going to...
me with your drink.
Yeah.
Like that was always one that it seemed like when we'd go out, you'd bump into like a girl and then she would spill a drink and then the lad that she's with would then push you as you're walking away.
Yeah.
And then as you turn around, it's pitch black, you can't see who it is. And then you mistake him for someone else and start a fight with another guy.
Do you know, when I was younger, me and my mates did that a few times, and I was the person that would push the other person. Like, thinking back to it now, I was the knob.
You are the knob.
What would happen was, something had happened. Maybe I wouldn't always push them, but someone would push me. So I was like the pusher. So I'd push them. I was like, I can't fight. So I'd push them, and then my mates would come in.
Yeah.
And I'd just kind of like bury behind them. But obviously, you're 17, like 18, you're drunk, you think you're 10 men, you're not. You think that's what status. You think, all right, if I beat you in a fight, I've got more status than you now.
Yeah. And it is always over a girl, isn't it?
Yeah.
Because if I was to beat you in a fight and it was over a girl,
who's going to get the girl?
Then going to come to me.
Yeah, it's basic caveman rules.
She's not going to go with some knob that's on the floor, sparked out, probably dying. She's going to come with me.
Yeah.
And that's what's going to happen.
Do you know, when you're that age and you're fighting on nights out or whatever, it goes back to school where you'd say he's the hardest in the year. Do you remember that?
Yeah.
So someone would be like, he's the hardest in the year. And then another lad who thought he was hard would go and fight him. It's literally like caveman times.
Yeah, it's like prison rules, isn't it?
Prison rules,
Don't mess with the biggest guy, and then you'll always get someone who'll try it. And, there's a new alpha in on the streets, and it's all over, like, just drink. I mean, I think that just comes with maturity, like the fighting side of things. Like, yeah, I used to do it. Right? Yeah. But I never used to start the fights. It was always my mates, and you'd think like...
You'd have to stick up for your mates, being fools.
Stick up for you. But now, I'm like, if you start a fight with someone else, I am not getting involved.
Yeah, that's like me now.
One, I'm also pissed I'm not hitting someone else, and what about if they fall over and hurt themselves? And two, you started it or they started it, and it's your beef. Like, I'm not getting involved.
Yeah. Yeah.
If it was like a guy fighting a woman,
you'd have to step in.
I'd step in because I don't agree with it. But also, if I've just seen that woman glass a guy and then he turns around and cracks her one, I'm like...
I think nowadays, you're best off keeping out of everything, because unless it's like your mate's getting beaten up, you're going to have to go and help him. But for me, I'm like, I'm keeping out of everything, because you don't know who's got a knife. You don't know who's going to come and punch you behind, behind. Like, just keep out of it, because it's not worth it.
Yeah. Yeah. People have to protect themselves nowadays, I think, and they just carry stuff. You've got kids walking the streets with stuff now, not because they're hard and, they want to hurt people. It's for their own self, like, protection.
Yeah.
All you need is to annoy someone, and it takes a split moment. You just snap and you end up like, getting stabbed or something.
Yeah.
Over something that it
nothing.
Really doesn't matter. Like, you know what? You bumped into me, you spilt the drink. It's all right. Like, I know might not buy me another one, fine, but it's just a t-shirt.
Yeah.
It's just like a pair of shoes. But I'm potentially going to get stabbed for it.
So when you were younger, someone would bump into you and you'd be mad and you'd probably lose your head, or someone would. Now, I think it's when you don't lose your head, that's what gives you more status, or that's what gives you more just peace of mind for yourself. But like, there's nothing better than someone doing something to you and you being like, it's all right.
Yeah.
Don't worry about it.
Yeah.
Because I think that says a lot about your, your personality, level-headed.
Yeah. Your ability to control your emotions, I think.
That's it. That is it.
Like, it's anyone can say anything they want to me, like words and stuff. I am not asked. It's the classic, like, sticks and stones will hurt your bones.
Yeah. Yeah.
It doesn't matter.
Yeah, the only thing you can control in anyone's life is your reaction, or you can't always control your emotions, but you can definitely control how you react to your emotions.
Yeah. in that moment.
Someone might say something, you might be a bit offended, you might not, but whatever you do next, that's what you control. And that's what girls as well, but lads on nights out haven't mastered, because maybe alcohol masks that.
Yeah.
Someone's pushed you, you can't control your reaction, you've just hit them.
And I think it's, the alcohol and also peer pressure from your mates and stuff like that. Like, you could be the one that gets bumped into, you think, I'm just going to control this, I'm not going to react. And then one of your mates goes, I'm not having you, do that to my mate, and then starts it. And you just think, fuck's sake,
Yeah.
I didn't want any of this.
Yeah, exactly.
It's fine. Like, just forget about it. But
yeah.
I think every group of friends or every group of lads, you've got one person he's like, no, not like, I was going to say like your bulldozer, but he's the guy who just flicks the switch.
Yeah.
And he's not bothered.
He just sees
He could be the biggest, the smallest guy, he's not bothered and he's off.
Yeah.
And then I've done it before, stood at the bar and
often it is the smallest guy.
Yeah, and you just think like...
It's the guy who
it's
definitely...
maybe not like the smallest guy physically, like maybe he's just got the bloody smallest brain.
Yeah, yeah.
Like, you think about your mates and you just think, you must be thick as fuck. They're just going to do that.
Yeah.
Like, go on then. Go and hit him, because what's it going to do?
Yeah, exactly.
It's
funny.
Yeah, every lad group especially. I mean, probably girls are the same. I don't know anything about them, but it's...
What I will say about it is, when you're young and you're experiencing all this stuff, I think that's probably the only good thing to come of it, is being in those situations. So being young in a club, it's kicking off.
Yeah.
Everyone's pissed. Maybe doing that a number of times teaches you, actually, I don't think this is for me. If like we go on a night out, we kind of, when we were on a night out at Christmas, we were like sober and looking at everyone thinking, this is awful.
Yeah, I mean, I was looking at some people on that night out particularly. Like, I was stood there stone cold sober, like I was designated driver. I was looking at people like walking through the bar thinking, fucking hell, do I look like that one?
Yeah.
Like, couldn't walk straight, bouncing for, sorry. Yeah. And I just think like, how, not even if you wanted to, get with someone, but how unattractive is that?
Yeah.
Even just to the...
When you're pissed, you actually think...
Oh, you're straight as an arrow, aren't you?
Yeah. And you think you look good.
Yeah. I'm just going to march
through. But then when you're sober, you're looking at drunk people.
Yeah.
I've never seen a drunk person look good.
No, and blabbering in your ear and shouting. I mean, that's now one that does annoy me, like loud music, shouting in your ear.
Yeah.
I mean, especially when you're sober and you're like...
Yeah.
Like, Jesus Christ.
And then you say it out loud. You're like, it's loud in here, isn't it?
Yeah.
And you hear yourself say it. And you're like, wow, I'm old now.
Yeah. Yeah. It's weird what you look at. And I think that's what changes your thought process when you're seeing people like that do it like 3 times a weekend, every weekend. There's some that, where we went out, there's probably go in that bar every single time. There'd be the same person.
Yeah.
Same time every weekend, just getting plastered.
Yeah.
Stumbling out.
I don't get how people can do that for a long period of time, like years. I went through a phase of doing that when I was young, and then I grew out of it. I grew out of it maybe a few years ago.
I think not everyone has to do it, but I think you do have to try it to know how stupid it is.
Mm-hmm.
And it's only those people that actually learn from it and go, we're not sitting here saying we're like stone cold sober. Like you said, we do go out and drink, but it's those, I don't want to drink 3 times this weekend.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I'll get pissed one night, fine. But I'm not doing it every weekend.
Yeah.
Like, there's not an event on every weekend that you need to be going to do it to. Like, what happened to just a casual few beers with your mates watching the footy down the pub?
Yeah.
You all like shake hands or whatever and say bye, see you later on.
Yeah.
And it's just...
Like, not every night has to be,
no,
let's go out.
Yeah.
Because the thing is nowadays, right, if you do go out for a few beers, you still spend quite a lot of money. Yeah. Beers are about £5.
I don't know why you're going for a £5. But
well,
not anywhere around here, But yeah, it's an expensive night. And, you mix that in with like any of the shitty food you'll eat after, the kebabs or whatever, the pizza. That one night out, just a few drinks has turned into like 50, 60 plus night.
Yeah.
For something
easy.
That's just...
And then you go
special.
to like a city for a day sesh or something like that. Food, drinks, you can spend about 100 quid.
Yeah.
Easy.
Yeah. I was going to say more close to like 200
Yeah.
usually.
Yeah.
The places you go to, paying for entry to get in,
Yeah.
all the drinks. Then you're probably buying rounds with your mates as well. That's probably a big thing. That's what influences people as well.
Yeah, rounds. What do you think to rounds? What about when it's like 6 people? Should you be doing a round?
Yeah, there's a limit, isn't there? I think it also depends on like who you're doing the round with. Because I've done rounds before where you've done it with a lad and he just can drink and drink.
Yeah, he's like, should I get another one?
You're like, shit.
Still got
it's your round now.
on the top.
I'm like, wow, I've not even. Are you not even chatting to anyone?
They're the people I hate drinking with because they're the people who fuck you up.
Yeah.
Because you just want to take your time and they're like smashing it.
Yeah, we've done rounds before where, whoever's round it is, they pick the drink. So you get like, most of them would pick like pints or maybe like a spirit mixer. You'll get one of them that comes back like a tray of 20 Jaeger bomb.
Yeah,
You think, dickhead.
Hate that.
Why have you done that?
Yeah.
And then you wait and you get back round to him again, tray of 20 tequilas, and you think,
there's always one guy or girl maybe, who does that. Maybe they don't go out often. Maybe they do go out often, but they're the ones who get the shots.
Yeah.
The expensive stuff as well.
Yeah, there's always one shot guy at least.
I can't do shots anymore.
Always a few. I mean, I have to be pissed to do a shot because I don't think then I taste it.
Yeah, honestly, I have to proper psych myself up. I start gipping before I've done it, just the smell of it alone. And then I basically like keep the shot in my mouth and just hold it there and then really psych myself up to swallow it. And then I just have to drink something else immediately or I'm just going to be sick.
Just a chaser. Yeah. But the classic Jaeger bomb train, whatever, Jaeger train with all my mates.
Yeah.
It's how many, at uni we used to do it and stuff like that. Like how long could you make the train?
Yeah.
And then you look back and think, like, it wasn't even that expensive, but like, I have put like practically 2 bottles of Jaeger in.
That's cool.
Like 2 minutes
at uni.
Yeah, it looks sick. Like banging through the table,
and it's so cheap at uni.
Yeah, but then when you don't get you only get halfway through the Jaeger train, and you're like starting to throw up in your mouth, or you fall off the end of the bar.
Yeah, uni was hard drinking.
It's absolute hardcore.
All the drinking games that you play.
But then by third year, I was done.
Yeah, that's what I mean. We pretty much rinse it in the UK, I think.
Yeah, first year, that 2 weeks of freshers at the start, what an experience for drinking. If you don't think you can drink, you'll definitely be able to drink by the time freshers is done.
In one of my freshers' nights, my mates came up from round here.
Yeah,
and they met all my flatmates, and I got so pissed, I like passed out, and they put me to bed. And my mates went out with all my flatmates.
Yeah.
And in the morning, I woke up and all my mates were there, and they were like, "Oh, how was?" And I said, "Oh, what happened last night? Like, I don't remember going out." And they were like, "Said you didn't go out. We put you to bed. We went out with all your flatmates." But I was so pissed I couldn't even remember getting put to bed. I thought I went out to the club.
Yeah,
obviously I did.
There's probably a few lads that could watch this podcast from my side.
Yeah,
that story matches what we experienced.
Yeah, I reckon
it's
harder.
It's just you look back at it and you think, well, I've got to do it to learn it, but
that's it. I think
also influences what I do now with my life because I think like I could never get that pissed now that I did at uni. No way. My adult brain would kick in.
Yeah,
and, like,
and you've got self-control now.
Yeah, like but it's experience of like everyone has a limit. Like get tipsy, pissed, and then bladdered. From past experience, if I go past this piss stage to bladdered, I know I am going to feel like shit tomorrow.
That's it, yeah.
And
it's knowing that limit.
Yeah. It's
also
fun.
Being comfortable with saying no more.
Yeah.
Your mate's going to the bar, do you want another one? Back in the day, you'd have said, yeah, go on then.
Yeah, go on, yeah. Yeah.
Now you're like, no, I can't drink anymore.
Yeah. You get this one, I'll sort you out the next one. And then he comes back, do you want to bang it down? Yeah, quick, back to the bar. Or you'd buy like, 3 or 4 drinks each because you don't want to go back to the bar, but then you don't drink it like 3 or 4 drinks. You just smash them all
You drink it in
back.
the same time you would have. Yeah.
And and then that's when you go outside, fresh air hits you, and you think like, what the hell am I doing?
Yeah.
Wrecked.
Yeah, I hate that feeling.
And then
When you suddenly realise, shit, I am pissed.
And there's nothing to do then. You can't, even if you threw it up, try and get it back out, you're throwing up alcohol that's probably going to get you drunk because it's still coming out your system.
And it doesn't work like that really, does it? Once you've gone past that limit, you can throw up, but you're still dazed.
Yeah.
You know.
And then you're lying at home, staring at the ceiling, head's banging because of the music.
Yeah.
You're drunk. You can't even like take your own clothes off or get to the toilet.
Yeah. It's the worst.
And
when
then,
the room's spinning, that kills me off.
Yeah. Yeah. And you're questioning, is it actually spinning? Or is it my head? Or what the hell's going on?
Yeah.
And then I used to get like, the wet throat feeling.
Yeah.
You think you're going to throw up and you think like, no, I'm all right. And then, oh no. And then you're trying to scramble
you're in
for the toilet.
Yeah. It's awful.
And
I do think though, you're right. Those experiences are important to have.
Yeah.
So it is not that alcohol is a good thing, but it can be good to experience that for different reasons, like growing up and confidence and meeting people and having fun times with your mates, but also learning you've got a limit. This is what you shouldn't do. This is what alcohol does to me. So maybe I shouldn't do it as often.
Yeah, because it just, especially if you're like a working man or woman, it just can obliterate your weekend.
Yeah.
And especially when I've done it before, you've gone into work on Monday, and, you're not pissed, you're not hungover, but you're knackered.
Yeah.
And you can't do anything. And then what used to happen is you'd go out, say, Saturday night, you'd get pissed, you'd wake up shit Sunday, you'd eat shit for lunch, shit for tea, probably won't prepare your breakfast or your dinner for work.
Yeah. You
just get something at work.
Yeah. You don't do any jobs or anything like that.
Nothing. Like you're washing, nothing. Then you get to Tuesday, your body's finally coming back to you. And then by Wednesday, you're like, right, I'm going back to the gym. And then you've got Wednesday, Thursday.
But you don't feel good on Wednesday, Thursday at the gym. You still feel bad.
Because your body hasn't eaten anything.
Yeah, that's what I've
eaten.
Yeah.
Like, I don't understand how, I mean, if you ask me now, like, eat that pizza sober and go on a run, like a marathon or even like a 10K, I'd struggle. Then try and get yourself to do that when you're still tired, still got alcohol in your system, and you've eaten shit.
Yeah. I notice that so much now. When you drink and you've had like a really bad food, like kebab or something, and you go to the gym or you go for a run or you do something, you just feel awful.
Yeah.
And maybe for like 2 or 3 days.
Yeah. I generally think sometimes when I've done workouts after eating just like shit, I feel like I'm sweating oil.
Yeah.
Like
you're sweating it all out.
It comes out like
different.
Thick.
Yeah.
And like, I don't know, you finish your gym class and you stood there talking to someone and you're still sweating.
Yeah.
Like you've stopped 10 minutes ago, you stretch, you cool down, you talk to people and you're still sweating.
Yeah.
And like, you stand there and think, God's sake, I couldn't do this. Like, performance, everything, like, leading up to like an event or like, when we do high rocks and stuff, like, I won't really drink.
No, leading up to that, no.
Because it's
not worth
kills
it.
Everything off. When you finish your high rocks, go out, in Manchester, Birmingham, wherever, and get pissed. Reward yourself.
Celebrate after.
Yeah, because you're not going to be training for a week because you're probably sore.
Do you think that the younger generations or our generation, let's say now, are leaning towards being sober more now than previous generations? Because, for example, parents or friends of parents or older adults than us might have beers or wine in the evening. And I don't know many people that do that are our age or younger.
Our age, yeah. Yeah, so the older generation would tend to have like, having a sit-down meal, they would have a glass of wine at home. But like, I don't know many people that would, like our age, that would have a meal and just have a glass
It's
of
hard
wine.
sometimes to know if that's the majority or if that's your circle majority.
Yeah,
but
it's difficult.
From what I've spoken to people about, being sober is more of a normal thing nowadays.
I feel like it's gone into like vaping and stuff like that.
Yeah, so that maybe it's replacing.
Yeah. I think
alcohol goes, but vapes
there is something, and after vapes, it'll be something else.
Yeah.
Vaping vapes mixed in with like drugs and stuff. I don't know, but then that goes out of fashion, and then it goes back. Maybe it always goes back full circle.
Yeah.
It'll go back to old style cigarettes or like rollies or something.
Yeah, it will.
And then alcohol then creeps back into it with smoke.
Yeah, it will.
And we'll be in our 50s or whatever, and bloody kids will be doing. It's the classic. I know your mum and dad like say, "Oh, we used to do that," or "We don't do that anymore." And you think, bloody hell.
Yeah.
It'll come back around to something else.
Yeah.
There'll always be something. But like, as humans, I think we need, or some people need to have like a blowout of some sort. Like so in order to get rid of stress, like for me, if I'm really stressed, it's definitely a run, or it's like a really heavy, like bodybuilding weight session.
Yeah, me
that
too.
blasts it all out. But then some people go like, "Nah, it's a big night out, lads. Come on."
Yeah.
We're getting smashed.
Yeah. Maybe that's the people that do that need to re-evaluate if that's really helping. Because a run, no one's ever been for a run and gone, "I wish I didn't do that."
Yeah.
Unless you've like gone for a marathon and now you can't feel your legs or something. But
yeah, I think, I mean, I've definitely gone for a run and gone, "That was shit." But it's like,
but you probably have not thought, "I wish I never went."
Yeah.
Yeah,
I'm usually finishing and going, I'm so glad when it came in my head, my head was telling me to stop. I didn't, because I feel so much better now, because I knew if I stopped, I would feel like shit for stopping.
Yeah. Whereas if you've gone to the pub, spent 50 quid, got steaming, had a kebab, woke up, sent some dodgy messages to, exes or something ridiculous, and then you've woken up, you feel like shit, you hate yourself.
I just thought then when you're speaking, it's so much easier to get drunk than it is to get fit. How easy is it to have a drink?
Yeah.
Like what, you drink a full pint of whatever, it doesn't hurt you.
Yeah.
You don't feel like, but if I said like, let's do a quick 1K tonight, it is going to hurt for at least 500 meters, which is what, 2.5 minutes? 3 minutes of pain?
Yeah.
To do that 1K and finish it and feel good and, not hurt after it, to then, go out and drink, get tanked up, but then hurt the whole day.
Yeah.
Metaphorically, you're in bed.
That's so true.
Shit. It's so much easier to drink or smoke
or
whatever.
That's why people do it, because they would rather be comfortable. Like having a drink, having a pizza, watching a movie, or going out with your mates sounds like a really nice time. Going for a run in the rain when it's cold sounds like an awful time.
But to me, if I was like, right, I'm going out with my mates tonight, but I also said to myself, I'm going for a run, and then I go and do the run, I feel so much better going to see my mates.
Yeah.
And go like, you know what, I can have this drink because an hour ago I felt like shit.
Yeah.
And I'm just going to chill out.
Yeah.
Whereas I know all of you lot have just got
important.
Dressed, had a shave, done your hair, come out and gone, right, let's get tanked up.
Yeah.
But it's weird because I feel like I've already earned that drink.
Yeah. You feel good.
Yeah.
You feel like you've not done yourself that much harm because you've already done like your exercise. Maybe you've burnt calories, or maybe you've done a gym session that's put your mind at ease, and now you can go and enjoy the night.
Well, you've offset the calories in your head. I mean, you probably haven't for the amount you may or may not drink, but you've offset a little bit. It's like simple maths, isn't it? But
what do you think to those people then who don't really care about fitness or exercise? They love getting pissed, and then they think, all right, then what else can I do? So like, I really don't like the gym. It scares me, and I've never really done running. I might start, but I'm not bothered about it. All my mates go out and get pissed, so I just go out and get pissed. What else can I do?
I mean, it's just narrow-minded, I think.
Yeah.
I just think like...
Because you could do anything, couldn't you?
Because it's so much easier to just blend into the crowd and be a sheep.
Yeah.
Than the classic, like, be the wool and go, you know what, I'm not coming out tonight, and I am willing to miss out on this so-called fun that you think it is, that you probably won't remember on Sunday morning.
Yeah.
And I'm going to go and try and better myself and do something else.
Yeah, and maybe it's like, if there was someone saying, I don't like exercise or fitness and I don't know what else to do, maybe you shouldn't go out so you can figure out what you want to do.
Yeah.
You know?
Because, people say, I don't like exercise. And what have you tried? Well, I tried running a few times. Right. Well, exercise isn't just running. You can swim, you can bike, you can ski.
Sometimes
you can
it's
walk.
like, you don't have to like it. I don't really like some of the workouts that I do.
No.
And I do it because I know it's good for me. Like eating vegetables, like no one really loves cucumber. It doesn't taste of anything. It doesn't taste nice.
Green water.
But like, to eat it because it's good for your body.
Yeah.
So the same with exercise. If people are thinking like, I don't like it, nobody does really, but you'd actually learn to like it along the way.
I like a longish, comfortable pace run. I like it. I hate it in the rain.
Yeah.
I definitely hate like the short interval running, but I'm looking bigger picture in terms of I'm never going to be able to get faster or whatever at running if I don't do the grim stuff.
Yeah,
I know if I'm running a 5K every day at the same pace, I'm just going to get good at running that pace.
Yeah.
That's it. I'm just going to stay where I am. And for me, that would just drive me insane, because it's just the classic, like, I don't want regrets, and which probably goes into like drinking at the weekend, is that, I'm going to drink. Like, I look at my grandparents, they never drank later on in life because they always did it. But I would hate to sit there like them and sometimes may or may not like have regrets.
Yeah.
I got tanked up in my 25 plus. For what? In my prime body years, I missed out on doing so many things.
Yeah.
Because, I missed that driving experience, or like skydiving because I was drunk.
Yeah. It's almost a bit of a realization that maybe comes to a lot of people when you get to a certain age, or maybe a certain maturity level, of those nights out getting steaming don't do anything for my life anymore. Maybe they did at one point because you had nothing else to do, so it was filling your time and you were meeting people or whatever, but now it does nothing for my life. But the Saturday morning gym session or the Saturday morning run does. The tasks that I can complete or the work that I can get done satisfies you. So maybe it's just at some point along the way you realise it's not worth it anymore.
Yeah, it's I know, I'm so glad I did it young to realise what the hell's things about, because like when you're not drinking all the time, it opens your eyes to other things, other possibilities. You want to
You're more alert.
Yeah, you want to do other things. I've maybe gone to like weddings before, and you get absolutely smashed, and you're like 2.5 hours away. Right now, I have to drive home.
Yeah,
and I feel like crap.
Yeah.
And I'm just
you mean in the morning, not on the night?
Yeah. I don't don't drink.
Maybe don't drive.
Yeah, definitely don't drink and drive. But yeah, on the morning, I was thinking like, what a stupid thing.
Yeah.
Everyone else in the car feeling exactly the same, probably asleep.
Yeah.
And you're the only one like with your eyes fixed
funny.
Open.
You just made me think of being on the way to an event, and everyone's like, yeah. Can't wait for this.
It's like Ibiza.
Yeah, on the plane.
Yeah.
And then you seen that picture?
Yeah, it's everyone
on the way.
Yeah.
And then on the way back,
everyone's like,
everyone hates their life.
Yeah.
Why did I do that? Why did I spend that amount of money?
Well, it's just like they'd say, I'm never going on that out again. I'm never going back to Ibiza. That absolutely ruined me. And they sit there going, give it a week. Anyway, lads, I've booked to go back next year. And you just think, right. Because you forgot. The brain, you just forget.
Yeah.
Because you can't remember anyway.
Because you just drank.
Yeah. So
you do forget how hard things are. And then or how shit things were. And then you do it again. You're like, I'm not doing that again.
Yeah.
And it's just a constant cycle.
Because brain protects you, or your body protects you, whichever one.
Yeah.
And it doesn't want you to do that again. And that's where I think with like maturity and just everything, you just realize that my brain is telling me that was a bad idea. Am I going to do it again?
Yeah.
And then
and
you do
most
it again,
people do.
You're an idiot.
Yeah.
Because it's just rinse and repeat, isn't it? You know exactly what the outcome's going to be. If you drink more than 15 pints, you're not going to remember what you did.
So I know that now. and I will do it if it's worth it, I think. Then I do it, and then I think it wasn't worth it.
Yeah.
So if there's a big event, I'll be like, right, everything goes out the window. I'm having a good night. I'm going to get steaming.
Yeah.
Wake up the next day. It wasn't worth it.
Yeah. Well, it's such a waste of time sometimes, especially when everyone's like, people take annual leave off work to go and get pissed.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
Like, oh, I'm going to take 3 days off. I'm going to have a long weekend, and I'm going to drink Thursday, Friday, Saturday.
Yeah.
I'm off Monday, so I'll be all right.
Yeah. Do you know what's funny? Today,
You took annual leave.
Today I booked annual leave to go to the races with my mates.
Yeah, that's an event though, isn't it?
Yeah, that's.
I wish you'd have told me up front.
The thing is,
Just laid into it.
The thing is, it's worth it because it's a big thing with my mates, and that's what I'm thinking. So my thought process is, it's worth it because it's an experience, but it's those nights where it really wasn't worth it, you know, and you've done it again, you feel like shit again for no reason, you know.
And if like, you know, probably like, you know, we have, say, for example, like High Rocks later on in the year, if your goal is to like do a decent time, and you're just constantly drinking, and then you don't do a decent time, there's literally, you've only got yourself to blame. You've only trained half-hours because you've just been like going out most weekends or the odd weekends, and it builds up.
Yeah.
You can't expect to have like a good result from knowing that you've done it all wrong anyway. Like, you just shouldn't have done it. But it's just, I think the British culture, especially when you go to like Spain and stuff.
Yeah.
The Spanish hate us.
It's different. Yeah.
You get wrecked.
Maybe it's the weather, because at Christmas, I was saying that there's nothing else to do. Like, it was grey, wet, cold, icy. You can't really do much outside, and there's not really much to do inside apart from, well, should we go to the pub then?
Yeah. And you've got quite a lot of time off for the work and stuff.
So maybe it's a UK weather thing.
Well, you know, as soon as it hits like late, like lighter nights, it's a bit sunnier.
Yeah.
You know, there's beer gardens that.
It's like everything caters to alcohol.
You finish work on a Friday night, and you're just like, "Whoa, I finished at 4.
Yeah, it's
sunny.
A perfect day.
Yeah, go on then. But then that's the start of the summer, so then it's always going to get lighter all summer.
Yeah, and then it gets to winter, and you think, I just want to go into like have a nice pub meal with a glass of red wine.
Yeah, I like a red sometimes.
Yeah, see, I'm at that age. We're at that age now, aren't we?
I'm at like the wine age, I think.
Like a nice glass of red with a meal.
I've recently been like encouraging to try ales and stuff.
IPAs.
Yeah, because
I'm into that.
Because like, you know, the commercial lagers and stuff, because they contain so many chemicals and that.
Yeah.
It's half the chemicals that make you feel shit.
Yeah.
Because, you know, your body doesn't like it. So then you get into like real ales, and then I'm like, God, I feel like an old man now.
Yeah, I love an IPA and stuff, but they can be strong then.
Yeah.
You have 3 pints of them.
Yeah, 7% and stuff.
Yeah.
But then you still drink them like the old log.
Again.
And then you wrecked on like 3 pints, and it's embarrassing.
Yeah.
Everyone remembers you in the pub.
Before we finish, any hangover tips?
Hangover tips?
Like you're hungover, what's going to help you out?
Just get up.
Yeah.
Get up and get outside.
You'd be the worst person.
Just get up and get outside. Honestly, like, you feel shit, you're going to feel shit all day, but like a bit of fresh air.
Yeah.
Especially like, it is the perfect time, you know, if you own a dog, just get out.
Get outside and walk the dog. Yeah.
Just get a bit of fresh air. I mean, I used to take like, do you know, the electrolyte tablets?
Oh, yeah.
And a glass of water before bed.
Yeah.
Just get some form of nutrients
before you go to sleep.
Yeah, so you're coming pissed. It's not the...
It does sort you out that sometimes, doesn't it?
I mean, it just gives you some nutrients. I don't know if it's maybe a placebo in my head, I don't know, but like, it helps.
It probably is, because a lot of the time you feel really bad in the morning because you're so dehydrated.
Yeah, dry.
So if you can have that electrolytes, or I used to take like an Alka-Seltzer tablet.
Right. Yeah.
Basically the same thing.
Yeah.
And you'd feel a little bit better in the morning. I always think, and this sounds awful when you're hungover, but it does really help. A cold shower. And it's like, okay, I really don't want to do that, but just that cold water hitting you, like, I don't know, just like that really wakes you up.
Is that not you just punishing yourself?
Pretty much, yeah.
Yeah, you just punish yourself for like going out. That's probably what I would.
Yeah.
I mean, if you had the balls, go for like a little run, a light run.
Yeah, just move.
Just get it out of your system.
Yeah, sweat.
Yeah, just sweat it out. That's the classic.
The worst thing you can do, stay in bed, order a takeaway.
Yeah, I know people
and stay there for hours.
And just mong out.
Yeah.
Because you're just going to feel even worse.
Yeah.
But, get some I don't know, try and get some nutritious food in you.
It's like the good thing to do is everything you don't want to do. So you want to stay in bed and order a Domino's.
Yeah.
When really you need to eat some salad and have a cold shower and go for a run.
It's the easy life though, isn't it? Just to sit in and, wallow and tell all your mates how pissed you are.
Yeah.
Or how hungover you am.
Yeah.
And it's like an achievement, isn't it? Who's the most hungover today?
Yeah.
Oh, well, I'm gutted you're not that hungover because you were wrecked last.
Yeah.
And it's like, when did it turn into a competition?
It's a competition, yeah. Who can be the most, who
drank
the most.
I can't handle drink like some people can. So I was more pissed, but I've drank less.
Yeah.
You're never going to, you might as well, like a golf, you might as well get a handicap.
Yeah, exactly. Maybe that should be a thing.
I've got a drinking handicap and you wear a little badge before you go out.
Yeah.
I'm only allowed 10 drinks, otherwise
that's brilliant.
I'm going to be, white boy wasted.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's not for me. I think as I get older, I think it'll just be for more events and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Especially when you start having like families and stuff. Like, do you want to be wake up in the morning just rough as toast?
No,
kids screaming.
No. Some people manage to do it, but
yeah, I mean,
for me,
they're the true warriors, I think.
Yeah.
But then that flicks the other way when they look at you and they go, I don't understand how you can like run a 10K in that time.
Yeah.
It's like, well, you've trained to drink, I've trained to run.
Yeah.
That's the way it is. Your body's used to drinking.
You picked your sport.
Yeah, my lungs can hack cardio, but my liver,
yeah.
It can't take the drink. So yeah, I take my hat off to anyone who can smash it back.
Some people train to drink.
Yeah,
it's
I'd rather train to run, but that's just me.
Right, well, we'll call it there.
Yeah, because I've got to nip off to the pub now.
Got to go.
Yeah, no, I'm not.
Cheeky pint.
Yeah, no drinking tonight. School night.
Right, if you're not yet following, subscribing, liking, sharing, do that. It helps us.
Yeah.
And we'll see you on the next one.